as we just said, if you want to do that open plan, you kind of got to think about what furniture you're going to incorporate into your space, because you might be standing in the kitchen and you can see the dining room and the living room and everything else.
Absolutely, because what was once 3 different rooms is now 1 big room.
Right.
And it can be kind of hard to integrate new pieces into some of your existing ones.
Exactly.
And so what I like to do is I like to play a little game. Do you remember when we were kids, there was a game, one of these things is not like the others?
Yes.
I essentially play a glorified version of this, but don't tell my clients. So I break it down in terms of 3 things: color, material, and style. And if it doesn't fit for at least 2 of those, it's gone. So I start with the pieces that I know I have to work with. Like when I took down my walls at my house last year, I figured if I wanted to stay married, I should probably work around that sofa and wishbone chair that we had invested in the year before. And luckily, I was happy to do that. So
good.
Yeah, so basically, whether it was color, so black, or whether it was material, I have to make sure they all relate to one another.
So is this the one?
Well, so originally I had thought for bar stools I wanted the tractor stool, but when I brought it in, I noticed that the color was just off. It wasn't the same as the flooring, which is the same as the seat over there. So it was a totally different wood tone, so it just wasn't working. So instead I settled on, if you want to lift that up, a wire bar stool with a leather seat pad. So now all my chairs shared something in common, whether it was the material or the color or the style.
Makes a lot of sense to have this sort of a vision board as well. So you can actually see it rather than, you know, buying everything and then throwing it in your space and then you don't like it.
Yeah, and even for designers who do tend to have a really good vision, it is nice to see it side by side, so you can say, oh no, it's too chunky, or you know, it really just, look at the legs, they don't go, that kind of thing. So for my other seating, instead of, you know, it really helps you balance, because instead of bringing in more leather, you know, says the woman in black leather pants, like, I brought in a nice charcoal linen, so that color-wise it worked, style-wise it was low profile, but it wasn't too heavy on the leather. So it just needs to pull it all in. Like I tell my clients, it's not about how much money you spend on your furniture, but it's how it's all intentional and put together that makes the space feel high-end. That's right.
Absolutely. Okay, let's take a look at these other pieces.
So there's no one right answer. You know, I could just as easily have gone with something more transitional. This gorgeous steel coffee table is very similar to what I used in my house. And to me, steel is a neutral. It's a classic now. And it doesn't have to be so edgy. Like I could have paired it with this gorgeous armchair from LT, this linen. Oh my gosh, so comfortable. And what I love about it, you'll notice that the legs are covered. So I'm not having to work around maybe a carved wood leg or a chrome leg, because if I was, then the chair becomes a little bit more bossy.
That's right.
And you don't like to work with bossy furniture. And
I don't like to work with bossy anybody, really.
I know.
Oh, it's just annoying. Right?
No, gotta be easy going. So again, I've got linen here, linen there. The color pulls in the steel. The legs are very similar to these. So when you're so well behaved over here, you then get to pull out the wild card. And that is the piece that you love, and it doesn't necessarily go with anything, but it's what makes you happy. And, and
so have some fun with those pieces and throw them in. Just don't make it look like, you know, an eclectic mess.
That's right, because then it's too much visual chaos. If this is all different styles and different, this is going to lose its impact, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So do the work and have the board. I think it's going to save you a lot of time in the end.
And now I can officially say everything I know about design I learned on Sesame Street.
Aww. I think that comes down to everything almost, right?
Oh, so true.